Hello and welcome. You join me, ADG123, once again, and here we are for round 5 of the GTTCC Gran Turismo Touring Car Championship, hosted by the MRC, the Mature Racing Club on Facebook. Brilliant group if you haven't heard of them before. I know most of the people that watch these videos are involved in the video and themselves and the racing, but if anyone new ends up finding this video, if you've not heard of MRC, it's worth checking out if you're into this kind of stuff. It's a good group with all sorts of different types of racing going on. So anyway, without much further ado, just on a personal note, just before we get going, I think the driving level and the skill level seems to be getting better and better race after race. Apart from myself, that is, just keep having really bad races, but that's by the by. So just a little note to everyone, keep it up and we'll keep having a good championship. It's good to see. I was a bit worried after the first round. There wasn't a lot of people in that actually entered that said they would and signed up for it and everything. So I'm glad to see that although it's still not a full field, we've still only got 9 people in here, I think, tonight. There's some familiar faces every week, so at least the championship means something. You know, you haven't got people just disappearing one week and then turning up another and all that kind of stuff. So it's good to see. We've still got a bit of a championship going on between the people that are in this. So anyway, we'll start going through the qualifying order. So Coalition Soldier, very good lap, managed to put it in pole. In the TT, Robust the Hoods in second in the TT, so popular choice for a lot of those guys on this track, the TT. Viale in third in the GTR, GTR. Fourth is me, ADG123 in the, sorry, gone a bit dry, in the TT as well. Steve Stearns is in fifth in the TT as well, so it's becoming a familiar thing already. Sixth is Rafael in the Lamborghini. Seventh is Dark Smoker in the VW Sirocco. Diablo is in eighth in the Hyundai, don't know what it is. Come a long way as Diablo, worth a mention, comes all the way from Australia to race with us every week. Has 91 in ninth. In the 4C, the Alfa Romeo 4C. So anyway, I've taken ages about that intro, so let's get on the way. So yeah, quite a good race this one. Few things to mention through it. So we'll stick with Has from the beginning. The light's green at the moment, but we'll soon start turning red. And the lights will start counting down. And everyone will be on the way, the revs will start rising. So here we go. The lights will start coming on. We'll drop back to Has right at the back, so there we go. So bad start from Dark Smoker, beautiful start from Diablo. I don't have the best start. Diablo's down the inside like a rocket though in his Hyundai, so great start in the Hyundai there. Steve Stearns finds himself a cut on the outside on T1. Nowhere to go, and then Dark Smoker has just taken it cautious into the first corner. Dark Smoker runs his way in there quite quickly, ends up having contact with Diablo into T2. Diablo has a massive moment, gets it all gathered back up, but finds himself dropped a place to Stearns, now in 6th place, and has 91 also made up a place on Dark Smoker out of that. So Dark Smoker the big loser out of that one. Just trying a bit too hard to make places up into the first few corners and causing contact. Ended up waiting, I think, as well. I had a couple of messages for Dark Smoker. He's a mate of mine in a way, and yeah, he's told me that he ended up waiting, thinking the car that he hit was behind him, and he was actually in front. So he waited unnecessarily in a way, but. There you go, it's one of those things. He ends up getting back into the race, so it's not the end of the world, but slightly ruined his race for him. So if you look up front, we've got Steve Stearns trying to go down the inside of Coalition Soldier. Diablo now in 7th. So a good first lap from everyone, and a bit of contact, like I said, to T2, but other than that, nice and clean from everyone, and good close racing on T1, lap 1 should I say. We'll just flip through and see what's happening further up. So we've got Viale right on the back of Roberts the Hood. Start of lap 2. These corners are crucial to get this exit right and get this long straight maximised. GTR always sounding good. Viale doing well in the GTR this season as well. Seems to have quite a bit of body roll on it when just watching it through that corner then, but obviously not a bad car. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it, but just you actually see the chassis rolling a little bit over on its suspension. Got me in third, following now, chasing Viale. Rafael in fourth in the Lamborghini with Coalition challenging him down the inside. Rafael going a little bit wide. Coalition looking to make an advantage out of it. Can he get to the inside for the next corner and make it happen? Or is Rafael going to manage to get it done on the brakes and still keep the place? Yeah, Rafael manages to keep the place. Hooks up the apex. Turns in for the second apex and off down the start finish straight onto lap 3. Rafael holding 4th place. So Rafael losing out there into the first corner, and Coalition now taking 4th place. Just a bit of a mistake from Rafael, and Coalition having a better run of it and just managing to carry the speed past him. So just hitting the inside curb there, Stone, so probably losing a little bit of time at that last corner into the straight. We've got Rafael right on the back of Coalition now though. Bit too far back to have an attempt into this corner. So just try and keep nice and close for the exit. Get a good run on the exit. Just decided to get it straightened up straight away and then foot down. Got Steve Stearns right on the tail of Rafael now as well, so it's good free car battle going on lap 3. Really interesting corner this, well, personally speaking I think it is. It's 4 apexes in a row and it's just good. There's not that many corners like that out there in all these different tracks. Each apex does actually require a slightly different approach as well. So it's a really good corner. So we'll flip through the field a little bit. Diablo now in 7th, Dark Smoker made up 1 place from dropping back into 9th, so Has now in 9th, unfortunately in the Alfa Romeo. Dark Smoker chasing Diablo now, wants to get back in this race now, does Dark Smoker. Diablo off his lightning start, I think he got up into 5th straight away, or 4th on his start. He's now in 7th after the first few laps have played out. So we watch Rafael going wide there as Stearns takes the place off him and now takes 5th place. Rafael just got it too deep on the brakes into the hairpin and ran it a little bit wide into the corner. Lost a bit of time gathering it all back up and Stearns just managed to get the job done. All heading down the long straight into the quite tight last 2 corners, having to brake heavy into there and then get the apexes hooked up again for a good exit onto the straight. So we'll quickly skip to Diablo and watch what's going on with him. Not a lot at the moment, looks like. Oh, this is why I noted it down. Diablo had a moment into, I missed it there, that's terrible of me, but Diablo having a bit of a moment, so he finds himself getting caught now by Dark Smoker on lap 5. And let's see if Dark Smoker can actually reel him in and do anything about it. But he certainly gained a lot of time on Diablo there from Diablo's mistake as Dark Smoker. So all of a sudden he's looking to get 7th place, where it was a long way away before. So keeps the inside line, outside for the next corner, Dark Smoker. Diablo giving him room and braking early and being respectful, but doing that he's dropped himself back as well a little bit to Haz. Haz has had a little moment there, so he's dropped himself back. So Diablo now just able to concentrate on the back of Dark Smoker and trying to get that place back through these 4 corners. Diablo running a bit wide, so Haz is down the inside of him. And Haz is up into 8th place now. Diablo having a bit of a mare on this lap, lost 2 places. So lap 5, one to forget for Diablo. It's all going on, he's gone wide again into the last corner. We'll flick up the order, see what's going on with Coalition, because I've written him down. So he's chasing me pretty closely now. Very closely in fact. Going through the tight first chicanes. So Coalition getting a good run on me there, he's right behind me now. If we're going to my view, I can actually go in car view. So right on the back of me, I go defensive to the middle of the track. Leaves Coalition nowhere to go unless he goes for the extreme dive down the inside, which is always dangerous and off-putting. So just trying to hold Coalition off now really. He's all over the back of me, he's definitely faster than me through this stage of the race so far. No tyre wear on, so just inconsistent driving really for myself to make Coalition a lot faster all of a sudden. But don't get me wrong, I'm not taking away from Coalition, he's a fast driver. Just I felt like I had a good gap to him before this lap and then I dropped back to him a little bit. That's all I mean. So he's flashing his lights at me, I can see in the rear view mirror there. I'm sticking to the inside, keeping it defensive again. We'll go to the outside view, see what happens. So I just give a bit of room to him on the outside. We nearly made contact, but Coalition actually manages to stick with the outside line and gets it into 3rd place. So it goes around the outside of me on the second apex of the last corner, and it's a really good move there from Coalition Soldier. So very good driving. I'm glad that we managed to keep it clean as well, which is always an aim of mine, and Coalition's a good enough driver to be able to do it as well, so it's good to see. I'm chasing these guys for the championship as well. I've messed up my championship a little bit by missing 2 races, but other than that I'm trying to get myself back into it, and my main competition are the people, Robbers the Hood and Coalition Soldier at the moment, I think. They're the 2 that are running away with it anyway, so everyone's competition obviously, but they're the 2 that are already got major points on the board and seem to be running away with the championship. So good to be racing with them, even though I'm not quite as high up as them in the championship. So Coalition now making a decent gap on me as well, and starting to reel in Viali in front. Viali's dropped off Robus now a little bit. Robus is having a really good race here. If you look at his lap times on the right, quite consistent, having a really good race, and just pulling that lead away now. So he's been racing really well through this season so far as Robus the Hood, so credit to him. He's had a fair few wins already, I forget how many, but he's won a few races already. So he's pretty much the guy to beat in the championship at the moment. It's Robus the Hood. Steve Stone's racing with him in a different championship in Group 3 cars, endurance racing. So it's good to see him in another championship and actually find ourselves in the same races and everything. So we find ourselves becoming friends and racing on 2 different categories of cars and everything. It's quite good. We actually raced in the same car, I think, if I remember rightly. I should know by now, but I'm pretty sure we were racing the same car on the other endurance races that we do as well. We're both in the Group 3 Jaguar. He's actually quite a funny little comment. He kept he's picked up on the fact that I must call him Stepstones all the time. So I can't decide whether to keep doing it just to annoy him or actually give him the respect and call him his actual name. So hopefully through this one I've been calling him Steve, pretty much, Steve Stones, but yeah, I'm still tempted to throw the old Stepstones in there just to make him giggle a little bit maybe. So I've completely forgotten about looking at my notes, but I think I'm following pretty much the action anyway. So we're stuck with Steve Stones for a while now, chasing me, but he's getting closer and closer, so hopefully you don't mind. I've definitely dropped a long way back off Coalition, so he was a lot faster than me at that point in the race. I was probably in some kind of chat, waffling away, talking about some weather phenomenon or some kind of BS about something. So good little race here, but I'm not giving Stepstones the chance to get past easily. I'm not being overly defensive at the same time, but we're pretty much matched for pace, it looks like. So it's going to take a brave move from Stepstones to get past, or a mistake from me. Oh, Steve Stones, I've just realised I've just been calling him Stepstones for them two mentions. Steve Stones going wide a little bit there, so drop back off me through those 4 apexes. Crucial to get that first apex hooked up into those 4, and then you've got the option to take the other 3 as you please after you've got them turned in nicely on the first one. So it feels like the race has gone a little bit stale between everyone at the moment, but don't mean to say it was a bad race. Everyone's still using the maximum skill to do the best they can. So Robert's the hood hitting the curb nicely there, getting on 2 wheels briefly. Viali watching him as he follows him. Coalition still chasing away in 3rd, doing a good job in this race, Coalition. Some fast lap times on the right hand side if you look there. I'm ADG in 4th, Steve Stone still chasing me but dropped back a little bit, heading wide a little bit into the hairpin there as well. Having to gather it up and get it straightened up for the exit. Rafael in his Lambo taking it nicely into the hairpin there. Dark smoke head into the hairpin now. Cutting the apex a little bit, not too bad. Hyundai chasing Dark Smoke now, Diablo. If you don't mind Diablo, I've no idea what time it must be in Australia. I could work it out, but I know there's different time zones in Australia and I don't know where you live, so if you don't mind commenting and letting us know what time in the morning I'm guessing it is when you're racing, if you're getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning or something to race with us, but it'll be interesting to know if you don't mind commenting or something. If you do watch this, I'm assuming. So Has now found himself in last place. He had a bit of a mixed race. He had a decent start, then he's dropped back a little bit. He looked a little bit unsure what to do into the first corner, so he held back and he managed to get a place on Dark Smoker, and then he's dropped back again. So he's having a bit of a mixed race, but good to see him sticking with it. Exactly what I ended up doing in the second race. I had a bit of a bad race, but I just stuck with it for half an hour and felt like a really long race because of all the little moments I had. I wasn't particularly well practiced on the track, if I'm completely honest. my own error again. I'm not taking this championship probably as seriously as I should do for the results I want, but I just find myself short of time really, doing all these videos and racing and doing all sorts of different stuff. Not my life. I end up doing I've got other hobbies and stuff to do as well. I do love a good race though. I find as much time as possible to get on my wheel and play all sorts of different games and mess about. Not all of it I make into videos, you don't see everything I do, but if you watch my videos that is. But and if you don't watch my videos, it's a good time to mention, give us a subscribe and keep track with this championship and other championships that I'm doing and other little things I get up to. So not a lot to say on the race at the moment, so I'm just filling a bit of time. Hope you don't mind the way I've done it, just promote myself a little bit. But there you go, got to do that to get some viewers and try and build my channel a little bit. I don't really like saying it, to be honest, but it's part of the video process and trying to build my YouTube channel, as I say. Not that I'm looking for massive fame out of it or anything like that. I just want to, if I'm making videos, I'd like more and more people to watch them, putting in the effort to make them. So it's good when I see more and more people watching these things. So yeah, I keep getting back to myself, I don't know why. Stearns in 5th, Rafael in 6th, not a lot of action going on. Dark Smoker managed to get into 7th place, slowly but surely through this race. So we're 20 minutes in nearly now, 19 minutes in, and we're on lap 12. So he's made up 2 places from right at the beginning after that mistake into T2. And on lap 1, Diablo just probably having the same problem I'm having in the second races, where I picked my second car, and I'm in the Honda NSX Group 4 car, and I find it a real Has having a moment, so running really wide on the exit there as he goes over the crest and ends up in the gravel for a second, but gaving it open, he's back on track. I can't remember what I was saying now. Has distracted me. Oh yeah, my Honda NSX, I just feel like it doesn't have as much pace as the other cars. It doesn't matter how well I drive, I just cannot keep the pace going to stick with the cars in front of me really. So I end up dropping back and back and back, even if I have a half decent start to the race, and eventually through the half an hour I end up just losing too much time through a few mistakes because the car's not the easiest to drive, and then just through not setting the best lap times really. So then it becomes harder and harder, and yeah, I end up dropping back further and further. So it looks like I'm just assuming here, but I know Diablo is a fast guy, so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, and it looks like that's his problem probably in the Hyundai as well. And probably like me, he just picked it because he just fancied driving a different car, and he didn't really give it too much thought what it was like. And that was literally how I picked the Honda NSX. I picked it just because it was a case of, I quite like the look of that car. I haven't really driven it loads. I know it's quite an interesting car in different regards. I'll give it a go. I never really did that much testing in it or practiced too much in it or anything like that. And that's probably why I'm finding myself struggling through the season with it. But there you go, just it does give me a chance to have a different, I can have a competitive race in the Audi every week in the TT, and then I have my uncompetitive struggling race, which gives me a different 2 sides to a championship in a way. So in that regard, if you look at it positively, it's quite interesting, but yeah, at the same time I'm not getting the results I'd like, so it's annoying in that matter. So I think towards the end bit of the race, I don't think there's many position changes that go on, but there is people start closing up on each other a little bit, just because it's getting towards the end and they start pushing a little bit more. So Bayali's, for example, is quite close behind Roberts the Hood again. He's not close, but he's closed the gap a little bit. Coalition in third, you can see Viali now, and I think towards the beginning of the race there was that much of a gap that they were actually out of sight. So I'm quite a way back, but Steve Stearns is still on my tail. He's not that close again. He's got a bit of a gap to us, but in between us, but he's still there, and he's putting in fast sector times as it just flashed up there. So he's definitely chasing me. Rafael is just a little bit too far back now to see Steve Stearns. But Dark Smoker can see Rafael, so Dark Smoker be looking to reel him in after a bad start to the race, see if he can finish it off with a good finish. And then, yeah, not a lot more going on at the back. Diablo just going round on his own really, and has 91 going round on his own, especially after he had that mistake going wide into the gravel a couple of laps ago. So just skip up again and just catch the action. Is Bayali now right on the back of Coalition, so good time to join them. We'll skip into cinematic and watch this, watch the gears and everything as well. So it looks like he's got a good chance to get the slipstream. Here's a tight corner to do it into, so you've really got to be quite brave and confident if you're going to dive down the inside into that hairpin. So Bayali not doing it on that corner, but sticking with Coalition. So definitely got a chance later in the lap. If not, if this battle doesn't last a few laps, and he'll have to take his opportunity when he gets it. Coalition Soldier running it wide there actually, where we saw Has going wide a couple of laps ago. The same thing, Viale now getting it into the inside of the 4 apexes. I don't know what this corner is called, but it must have a name, and taking second place. Coalition Soldier just feeling a little bit of pressure there, maybe. I'm not saying he did, but looks like he might have done, and saw Viale catching him quite quickly, got right onto the back of him, and felt the pressure and ended up making a few mistakes and dropping back. So Coalition losing his second place, which he's kept for pretty much the whole race, so he'll be a bit gutted about that. But he's still on the tail and he's looking to come back at him, so he's had a good exit out that last corner as Coalition in the TT, and he actually takes it back into the first corner. So nicely done, Coalition. Oh, but he's carried too much speed, run it wide. Oh, ended up on the curb having a massive oversteer moment. So he's come back on, ends up losing time, so they end up side by side into the second corner, the entry to the chicane. Oh, and then it looks like Viale just gave a little bit too, well, not too much room. He did the right thing, not making contact, but he's ended up dropping back because of that. So I've gone past him now, and Steve Stearns has actually managed to get past him as well. So Viale dropping from second place in one lap to 5th all of a sudden. So he must wonder what the hell went on there, and nothing really. It probably just that moment. I'm tempted to go back and actually rewatch it, but I won't, because I don't really want to make these videos like that. But yeah, Coalition Soldier winning out there. So the fact that Coalition had that massive moment actually helped him out, because when he came back on track, it meant that Viale had to respect him more than they probably would have done, and give him room, which then just dropped me and Steve Stearns straight into the mix, and we ended up getting straight past him. So a massive moment. And if you look now as well, let's see how far Rafael is away from him. No, Rafael's quite a distance away, can't see him, so Viale is safe from that regard. So he's actually dropped back a little bit off Steve Stearns as well. So sorry Viale for rubbing it in if you see it that way, but I'm just commentating on the action. Hopefully you see it like that. But yeah, it's an interesting one, that, and a big moment in the championship possibly. We'll find out towards the end of the championship whether that makes a lot of difference in where Viale comes. If there's a few points, but you know, off being a place in front, that might have made all the difference. That one move there, depending on how tight this championship ends up being in the end. So we both end up running wide, me and Coalition a little bit there, coming out of the hairpin and trying to get a good exit. I can smell Coalition's blood here, and I'm chasing as hard as I can to reel him in and catch him now, or go in car, as soon as I can on my own car. Don't know why it doesn't allow us in every car, but it doesn't. So chasing him through the 4 apexes, trying to hit every apex or thereabouts. Not trying to run right over the curbs of everyone, but more or less touch everyone. Just trying to stick in the slipstream of Coalition, keep the steering to a minimum to keep not scrub off any time. Nice and smooth into the last corner, let it drop the understeer and wait for the apex to appear and then back on it. So looking back, I've got a real bone in my teeth here, and I'm off from Stetstones. I've dropped him off, and I'm fully looking for second place now off Coalition towards the end of the race. There's only 2 minutes left as well before the half-an-hour race is up. It does sometimes end up running over half an hour because of the fact that you might cross the line on with 29 minutes 59 seconds left. So in that case, you get another lap, if that makes sense. Everyone knows what that means anyway, surely. Half an hour race is half an hour race. It's not the set amount of laps. So sticking with my own action briefly here, we'll flick through before the end and see what everyone else is up to, but see if I can get it done on Coalition. Chasing hard, like I say, and Coalition's doing a good job chasing, putting in the laps. I know he must be, because I'm putting in decent laps myself, so he must be having a good couple of laps himself just to be keeping it in front of me. So good little battle. I love it when a chase is actually really we're really driving on the limit, not just chasing each other closely, but we're really actually on the limit every corner as well. So little moments of understeer, oversteer all the way through, because we're trying to just maximise every second of every corner. So Coalition feeling that I had a bit of a chance on him there, so he went defensive on me. But I didn't actually, I had no intention of trying to overtake him then. I felt like I was too far back, so trying to just get the last corner right and slipstream down the straight. If we look back, on the left hand side, Viale, and if we look back, he is in the distance. He's now into 4th place, so he's taken 4th place off Steve Stearns. And we'll drop to that now before the end of the race, but we'll keep an eye on whether so close between me and Coalition. I just kept my eye on it briefly there. So Coalition actually going wide, and I end up in 2nd place, take the place off him. A little bit of a rub from us as he shows his distaste for that. And Coalition dropping into 3rd. I obviously go for the defensive line. I don't want to give it him straight back into the hairpin. I managed to get it done as well. So. And then we've got Viale now in 4th place. Robert Hood's about to come and win the race in a minute. Steve Stones in 5th. Rafael chasing away in 6th. Dark Smoker in 7th. Diablo's already finished rather randomly in 8th. Hayes in 9th still. So we'll catch up with those guys at the front. Viale in 4th. So it's Coalition and me. It's this battle really. Can Coalition come back and get 2nd place back before the last corner? We're heading into the last 2 corners now. Double apex corner. He's a bit too far back to have an attempt, but he's got to do something if he wants to get that 2nd place back. So he has a little late dive, thinks better of making contact, and ends up not being able to do a lot about it, and sitting in 3rd place instead of 2nd. So that last lap made all the difference for me there, taking 2nd place rather than 3rd. So good points, good race as well with Coalition Soldier. Absolutely brilliant racing all the way through, mate. So really enjoyed it. Viale in 4th, bringing it home in 4th. Steve Stearns in 5th, so good race from them two as well. Not quite the result they might have wanted from where they were further into the race and where they've ended up. Rafael now in 6th. And Dark Smoker bringing it home in 7th, and we'll just skip to Diablo and Haz. Diablo in 8th and Haz in 9th there. So I really enjoyed that race actually. A few dull moments in it halfway through where there wasn't a lot of action going on, but apart from that, it's been a really good one to commentate on. So I can only commentate on good races because there's good racing going on from everyone that's involved. So thank you very much. And yeah, if you've enjoyed this, give us a like. If you've really enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already. And I've been ADG. Take care, and race 6 will be with you very shortly too. So look out for that. See you soon.